you all, it's Cindy, and I know how curious you all have been about my family, so I thought I'd introduce you. First we have Keith, he was my firstborn, and then we have Miranda, she's my little girl, and this is her little dolly, and then we have JK right here, the baby. Now, I told them to clean up the kitchen one day, and when I say clean up the kitchen, I mean it. Well, I took care of that now. I had to take the bodies out to the body farm there in Knoxville and have it cleaned up, but now they're just perfect children. Love y'all. So last year for Halloween, I told you all about the secret soldier zombie hands that were invented by the scientists out at the plants there in Oak Ridge. Well, I'm not going to continue this story, although I would just like to say, Robin Crisp hasn't been around. I wonder what happened to her. So what I really wanted to tell you about this year was right outside of Oak Ridge, growing up, there was a church that was built in the 1800s by a Reverend Peterson. Now, he had been preaching at that church for several years, and that was the most popular church there in the foothills of Tennessee. Anyway, he ended up raping and murdering one of the girls from the choir. And instead of going to prison, he hung himself right up there in the pulpit of this little one-room church. Now, so then Oak Ridge was developed, and that became government land. Although nobody went to that church ever again, from what I heard. And I can't blame them, I wouldn't go. So when I was in high school, me and a friend of mine, I'll call him Beak, we decided we were going to go and check out that church, because it was about Halloween, and we were looking for a little bit of a fright night, you know. But we drove to the church, and we couldn't take the back road to get to it, because it was barred off. We came up with this great idea. I don't know which one of us did, if it was me or Beak. You've seen where they've ran big, giant power lines and have cut down all the trees. Well, that's what we decided to drive up through. So I took my little Toyota and got off-road. And we got onto the path, and we made it to the church. Don't tell my daddy. I might have been in his car. Anyways, so we got there. And, you know, Beak was trying to scare me and everything, because there was a graveyard there, and he was chasing me around, and I was chasing him around. We were just having a good time. And then he wanted to go into the church, and I was like, oh, no, I am not going to the church. Because let me tell you, I saw the movie Halloween, and I just don't go and do things that I'm pretty sure will get me killed. So he went in there, and he was messing around, and he started screaming and stuff. So I ran in there, although I shouldn't have, but I did. And there was one of those super soldier hands around his neck, and it was trying to choke him to death. Well, I took a big board, and I knocked it off his neck, and it went flying across the room and hit the wall and fell down. And we went running back out, and we were hiding over by the car. And about the time we started to get in the car, all of a sudden, all these soldiers and guards surrounded us with their machine guns. They were questioning us about what we were doing there, if we were meeting anybody else out there, or if anybody was supposed to be out there. I told them how Beak had been attacked by this crazy hand that was choking him around his neck. And what they did was they took Beak and they threw him in the back of the Jeep, and two of them left with Beak. And then the rest of the guards, they went back into the church, and then they started screaming blood-curdling screams, and I heard gunfire and all kinds of stuff. I ran back to the church to see if there was anything I could do to help those guys. And on my way, I picked up a 2x4 that had like a big giant 10-penny nail sticking out of it. So I'm running back to the church, and I get there, and I'm looking inside, and all those soldiers are just slung all over the place, and they're not making even a sound. And then I heard a little bit of a creepy creep next to me, and I looked up, and that hand was climbing up the side of the wall. So I took that 2x4 I had with the nail sticking out of it, and as hard as I could, I hit that hand. and that nail went through the hand and into the wall. But it didn't do much because that hand started kind of like looking like it was doing a push-up, pushing itself off of the wall, and it was pulling that nail out. So at that point, I ran all the way back to my car, or I should say my dad's car, and I got in my car and I hightailed it out of there and made it back to Oak Ridge. So about maybe a week or two later, Big showed back up at school. I was wondering where he had been because I never could find him after that had happened. And Big couldn't remember anything that happened. He didn't even remember going up there with me. So it was really weird and creepy. And we never heard anything about those soldiers. But let me tell you, I never went back to that church ever, never again. And you need to heed what I say. Don't go around empty, abandoned churches. On to the painting.
Monsters come in different shapes and sizes. Good, though it feels to me. Small voices singing set me free. Set me free. You said you'd hope to die. You've crossed my heart now too many times. You know the feeling is gigantic, although it barely meets a naked eye. That messages we send are transatlantic, and you can barely tell that I am really shy. Oh, I'm so shy. You said you'd hope to die. You've crossed my heart now too many times. I'd stick a needle in your eye, but I'm too shy. You can string me up like I'm your puppet, the houseboy or the milkman or the maid. You know I will stay silent, I won't force it. You give me every chance to leave, but I still stay. I hold the light up close against the window, signaling for you to come inside. I lie awake and wait for you to get here, and I don't let it show, but I am really shy. I'm so shy. You said you'd hope to die. You've crossed my heart now too many times.
brings us to the end of the first day of our Halloween crossover event. I sure have enjoyed everyone, and I bet you guys did too. And I'd like to thank Betty of Oak by Bettina for my opening, and Donna for pulling off another great collaboration. I'm so fortunate to be in a coven with a bunch of great witches. Everyone is so talented. I hope you've enjoyed my little Halloween piece. Now, my inspiration came from several different artists in different areas. First off was Sergio Armando Art. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but I'll have his link in my description. Now, I got that. He is a master of texture, and I homed him quite a bit. And also, there is Tiffany Remine of Tiffany Remine Art, and I'll have her link in the description. I really love doing those blooming skins. And then there's Donna of It's Art by Donna M. And what I got from her is how I put the magnets and use those with the bats. So I can take those bats right off and use that painting all year long. And be sure to jump back on our collaboration with Lori of Lori Houston Art tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. And I wish you guys a bunch of peace, love, light, and lots of laughter. Love y'all. Cindy out.